Hi, Undocu besties. So I was accepted to schools. What then? What happened from submitting my study permit application to the point where I received it? If this is something you're interested, keep watching. Alrighty, the study permit process. So what is a study permit? A study permit is a document most foreign nationals must obtain in order to study in Canada. It is not a permanent status, but it does have a pathway that eventually leads to permanent residency. So now that I had an acceptance letter, I revisited the study permit above the process page and made note of what I needed and created my RCC account. Since I was applying from outside of Canada, I used Guide 5269, applying for a study permit outside of Canada, to help me guide this process. Please make sure to read the before you apply section. It describes who can come with you while you're in school, medical requirements, and how to provide biometrics. This piece is huge because so many people have asked me if you're allowed to bring someone with you, and you can. So step one, gather your documents. So if you follow the document checklist link, it will take you to a checklist of items you need. It seems a little intimidating, but they are relatively all very easy to fill out. I filled out and completed the entire process by myself without any assistance from any legal professional. So it was very straightforward, and this website it does a really good job at providing descriptions and guides as to how to fill out the application, so you don't have to necessarily pay for any legal fees for someone to assist you here. Step two, complete the application. So this is the list of documents you need. And these forms are basically questions just asking about you, your family, and if you use any legal representation to submit the permit request. The family forms, they will ask about your family even if they're not coming with you. And at first, when I was filling out this form, I was a little nervous because some of my family members are undocumented. But now that I submitted the permit and got the permit approved, I had no problems there. So don't worry about that. Alrighty, step three, pay the fee. This part will probably be very surprising to you. So I only paid 150 CAD to submit my study permit application, which is roughly 116 US dollars, plus a 85 fee for biometrics, which is about $66. So in total, in US dollars, I paid $182. I've heard from people that submitting an application for DACA is quite expensive. So to me, this was really, really affordable. I could afford to pay this on my own. Once you create an application, this is what it looks like on the back end. So this is my account portal. As you can see here, I submitted my online application on May 21st of 2020. As you can tell here, I was very much like, let's go, because I submitted my study permit application 8 days after I received my acceptance from the university I was gonna go to. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk a little bit more of, so you submit your application, what kind of happens and after that. So after submitting my application, I received this letter that basically says, we received your application.
The same day I submitted my application, I also received this biometrics instruction letter on May 21st. And it just goes to say that because I submitted a study permit application, I am required under this law to submit a photograph and have my fingerprint scanned, my biometrics. And here it gives me instructions on how to go about doing that. For DACA recipients, you are familiar with this because you have to go through it for your DACA process. So I just went here to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and I gave them the sheet, and they had a barcode. They took my picture, my fingerprints, and then sent it over back to Canada.
On August 18th, I received this letter from IRCC, basically telling me, while the COVID-19 pandemic has presented a number of challenges worldwide, Canada's whole of government approach is aimed at protecting the health of Canadians while minimizing the economic and social impact of restrictions. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada has implemented a temporary two-stage process to provide an update to international students who have not yet been able to provide all the required documents or information needed to have their application fully assessed in a time for the fall semester. You are receiving this notification as an officer has reviewed the information and documents you provided to support your study permit application. Based on this preliminary eligibility assessment, your application has advanced to the next stage of processing. And they go on to tell me that while you await a final decision on your application, you may commence your studies online. In November 24th of 2020, I received this update telling me that my biometric information was valid and that it was good to go for 10 years. On November 24th, my application to study in Canada was approved. After receiving this letter, I was able to, if I wanted to, move to Canada at that point. But as some of you probably already noticed, my timeline is off here, and it is true. So I chose to defer, which means that I accepted my admission, but I pushed it for a year. So instead of doing the 2020-2021 school year, I did a 2021-2022 school year, which is why I'm still in school now. I did that because, like I mentioned earlier, the IRCC was, still trying to figure things out and adjusted because of COVID, and they were extremely communicative, and they always kept me updated on what was going on, and they were constantly releasing updates on their website as they could. But I was already going to take a big risk by leaving the States, and I wanted to be 100% sure that there was going to be a secure pathway for me. And because of COVID, I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. I pushed it for a year because I wanted to let the government of Canada kind of decide what they were doing in terms of international students and their pathway to residency. So now let's break down the cost. So my total cost for the GRE, one application fee, the study permit, and the biometrics fee was a total of $465. Now, the most expensive part was the GRE, and I didn't even need it, which I could have saved myself $205 to be honest. So if you eliminate that, my true cost would have been $260. Now that I'm close to completing my program, there is so much that I've learned along the way that I will be making if I had to start this process all over in 2022, what I would have done differently. And also, I want to make a note here that because of COVID, my process and getting my permits and all that took a little bit longer, but it's usually shorter. I will put a link below to the website where you could see the specific timelines at the processing times of certain items, and they are very accurate. They are actually very accurate. If you have any questions about that specific process, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will get back to you. Alright, well, don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in the next video.